Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be some quick beginner type tips for you while you are venturing out in Valheim and learning the game and getting started on your journey. So let's get into it. So the first thing you're going to want to do on day one is run around and punch these little trees, these little ones here that are breakable, these little beech. By punching them, you punch them a few times and they will break, and then you can get the lumber. You also want to run around and collect some of the wood and stone that you see laying around on the ground. Once you get a little bit, you can craft yourself the basics that you will need to get your first little mini workstation set up for your day 1, 2, and 3 type little setup. And you can also sit next to it for 30 seconds and you would get a resting bonus. Even though it's a super newbie one, you got a comfort of 1. Some resting bonus is better than not having one. And you can also put 2 of the cooking stations on the campfire. I see a lot of new players just putting 1. You'll be able to cook the meat that you're killing a lot faster if you've got 4 available slots to cook food instead of 2. And then you will see here, it takes about 30 seconds, but any moment now, I will get that rested bonus right there. And now I've got the 8-minute countdown where I can run around and have a little bit more stamina, regeneration, and that type of stuff to help me while I'm exploring. And then you see how there is my mini workstation. You do want to head on over to the coast somewhat soon because the coast is going to have necks, which you can kill to cook them for meat. And it will also have flint and lots of stone along the coast. So you can find lots of goodies by farming the coast pretty early in the game. You can see how long I'm able to run because of getting that rested bonus. And you also want to make sure and kill these boars. When you see them, you can go ahead and punch them if you don't have a weapon yet. But you do want to craft something at your workstation, a club, an axe, something to help you, but you can punch if need be. Killing the boars is definitely really good. Now, if they are really close to your base, you may want to save them and think about enclosing them with some wood to try and tame them a little bit down the road. There you can see the leather scraps that they drop. But yeah, you want to run around here and pick up the stone and the flint that you are getting along the coast. You can see all this stone and then flint. All of this stuff is going to be really important early in the game, gathering up the stone, the flint, and then we'll see if we can find a neck along here because they are important to farm as well to go ahead and get their meat. And here's one along the coast. The necks are usually along the coast. You're going to want to take them down so that you can harvest them for the meat that they drop, and then you can see the neck tail added to my inventory. You're going to want to cook that up. It could be a good source of early game food. And speaking of running along the coast and exploring out farming, you're going to want to hit the letter Q to activate auto run. You can see here I'm not doing anything, and then my character is running in game. Then I can simply hold shift to sprint, and that will make it a lot easier on your knuckle instead of having to sit here and hold W for hours on end while you're playing. It took me like 30 hours of playing before I figured out that I can just hit Q and toggle the auto move. That'll save my knuckle from hurting by holding down W constantly. And speaking of using the auto move key, Q, while you are out exploring and you come across structures like this that are abandoned, you definitely want to take the time to inspect them because not only can they have chests like this where you can find stuff that you can loot to help you later on with things like the merchant and keeping stocked up on arrows for your bows, but most importantly, in my opinion, they have beehives sometimes, like you see right here. This is a beehive. You definitely want to kill these when you come across them. You can take them out at a safe distance with a bow. They will hurt you if you get too close. And then you can see that they drop not only honey, but also a queen bee, as you see right here. And you can use these to produce beehives at your settlement that will then produce honey for you. As you can see here, for example, at my first settlement where I've got a bunch of beehives set up that I can run along and harvest honey. You do want to clear them out about every in-game day or 2 because they can only produce a maximum of 4 honey. So once you see they get up to 2 or 3 honey, go ahead and run around and clear out your beehives to stay nice and stocked up on the honey that you get from those beehives that drop queen bees. And also, you see how I'm running around right now with my bow equipped? My character is kind of holding the bow. You can hit R to sheath the bow. Then now you see how it's on my back, and I get a little bit of a bonus to my run speed by sheathing it by pressing R. Then, if you're gonna get in a fight, you stop, push R, and you're ready to go. As I pull up the inventory here and mouse over the bow, you can see right there that it says movement speed minus 5%. Then when I go ahead and put it away, now I am no longer suffering that penalty to my movement speed, and you can get around just a little bit better. So always remember to toggle the R off and on based on if you're running or fighting. And on that note of talking about having a bow, you want to get one as soon as possible. And even if you're playing with other people, you all want to have a bow at your disposal and start leveling up that skill, because it allows you to kill things while staying at a safe distance and also take pot shots and then run, get some distance, turn around, take a shot, run, get some distance, turn around, take a shot. That will help you big time when you start fighting tougher opponents like trolls and stuff, that you're not going to want to just stand there and go sword and board up against them. You're going to want the utility that a bow and arrow can bring you. It's going to help you out a lot in the game. When you come around ingredients in the game, raspberries, blueberries, things like that, it is definitely worth taking the time to make sure that you scoop up those resources, because you need multiple different sources of food. And then also later you are going to be cooking, and you're going to want all sorts of ingredients at your disposal to make good stuff to help you along your journey. So definitely take the time to pick the berries and other resources that you see in the environment. Now, as you see here, night is falling upon me, and my first instinct would be to run in, close the door, and sleep and make it daytime. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can definitely jump into bed and sleep. It will fast forward to the next day, and you will wake up at dawn and not have to deal with the night. This can definitely be a viable option sometimes. My only tip is maybe don't always default to sleeping. If you have stuff you can do during the night, maybe you can run over and smelt some ore or build some stuff around your house. You don't necessarily have to sleep and make it day, because the reason I say that is the game is going to slowly get tougher as you progress. Like in day 100 is going to be a lot different than day 10 in terms of things they throw at your base, maybe things attacking you. It'll start doing events like the forest is moving and a bunch of things will kind of attack your little settlement. So don't necessarily be scared to sleep and fast forward to the next day. But if you've got other stuff to do during the night, maybe don't always default to sleeping right away, so that you can kind of slow down just a little bit and give yourself more time to develop, so that you're a little bit further along on day 100 than you would be if you just instantly slept all the time. It's a good idea to get a fenced off crop area set up ASAP, because you're going to want to start snowballing those resources, acquiring seeds, and getting things ready, as many food sources as you can get rolling in your settlement. So you definitely want to take the time to set it up. You're going to do this by crafting a cultivator that you can see right here, and this will enable you to equip it and then go ahead, select it, and now you can cultivate the ground and then right click to select the available things that you can plant. And next to my crop area, you can see this row of carts that we've got right here. Carts can actually be a great storage tool while you're kind of temporarily needing somewhere to put things while you are in the process of maybe building yourself a storage area or something. So once you get to the Black Forest, which is pretty early in the game, when you're farming copper and tin to produce yourself some bronze, you can make yourself some carts. They kind of operate as massive chests. They can hold more than chests, and they are also mobile. You can go ahead and attach yourself to it by lining up in the right spot, hitting E, and now you can move around. So not only can it be parked and used as a storage area at home, but you can also attach yourself to it and then run around and use it as a mobile storage area. So this can be really handy. Maybe you're gonna farm a bunch of lumber really close to home. Attach a cart to yourself, run out, start chopping wood, throw it in the cart, chop wood, throw it in the cart, and then once it is full, you can run home and get a lot more wood in one trip than you would running out, filling your inventory, and then coming all the way back, unloading, running out, filling your inventory. The cart can be a really good resource if used properly. And speaking of carts and storage, that type of stuff, it can be very handy to stack your chests instead of just having a row along the ground really long. You can double dip on your space and even triple dip and stack them as you go higher and higher. You can do this very easily by entering into your build and then going to something like a plank, like you see right here that I used to stack this chest, and you just hold it up against the wall at the desired height. And for this example, what I did here, I just built 2 of these like so, and then I was able to back out, go to furniture, and place a chest on the upper level like so. So boom, that is how you can stack things like you see right there and get a little bit more use out of the space you have available to you. And there's multiple ways to do that. You don't have to do it exactly how I did here. You can kind of explore and play around and see which way you like best. When you are still relatively early in the game, exploring the Black Forest, which is basically the second area that you're really going to be diving deep into, where the copper and the tin is, all that type of stuff that you're moving on to after the initial stage of the meadows. You're going to want to probably take some time to see if you can't find the merchant. Right up there ahead is the merchant, and if I hit M, this is what it looks like on the mini-map. It's this little bag emblem that you will see, and it's worth exploring. You can see how close it is to my spawn point. There is the spawn point, and there is the merchant. Now, there's a little bit of RNG involved. Some people have really bad luck, and they can't find one for 50 or 60 hours. Some people find it 5 hours into the game, but it's definitely worth going for, because when you can find the merchant, what you can do is trade those gold coins and valuables that you have scooped up along the way in your exploration, like the rubies and gold coins and stuff. You can come to the merchant and you can buy really cool things, which gives a lot more strength and carrying capacity. I can carry a lot more than I could when I was a new character. I think it goes from 300 to 450, so it's definitely a big increase. You can also get other cool things like a fishing rod from the merchant. I'll pull it up and just kind of let you see what it is. You can get a fishing rod, all sorts of cool things. So you definitely want to scoop up the valuables that you come across in chests, like the rubies and gold coins, and take a look at trying to find that merchant as soon as you can. You want to get good with using a shield, because it can be a very powerful tool in mitigating damage against the enemy if you're going to be fighting melee. Like so, boom, you can see I'm blocking the damage and not letting the enemy hit me to do a ton. This can give me a lot of time to maybe get some space, gather my thoughts, gather myself, and be a lot more successful fighting melee. And once you get good and comfortable with using the shield, if you do it right before they hit you, you will get a parry effect where you kind of stun them and it gives you a chance to counter them. I'll see if I can pull it off here on the next attack. When they attack me, I'm going to use my shield to block right before they hit me, and if I time it right, I will get a stun effect that allows me to counterattack. And right there, you see how it made them kind of jump up and stun. So once you get good with it, you just hit the right click right when they're about to hit you, and it will make it a lot easier to win some of those melee duels that you get in. There's a lot of different situations in the game where you're going to be far from home exploring, or maybe mining resources like copper or tin, lots of metals, or maybe you're going into a boss fight lots of different times where it can be handy to take the time to learn the skill of quick settling, where you just take 5 or 10 minutes to build yourself a nice little settlement with a workbench, a campfire, and a bed so that you can set your spawn point, get the rested bonus, and have a little bit of storage space to go ahead and explore in the area that you're in. It is definitely worth the 5 minutes it takes to do it when you get good at setting it up. And then one quick last one for you is when you activate your special power, you can see on the bottom left, it says the power is ready. When you activate that, it's handy to do it when you are around your friends, because they will also get the effect of that power. And then you can alternate when you activate them so that you can keep them up more permanently. So I would activate mine, then after it wears off, my friend would activate theirs, and it helps us fill in the gap of the cooldown of that power. As you see here, when I activate it, if I was in the same room, really close to an ally, they would get it as well, so we would both get the power. But yeah, I could go on and on giving you a bunch of tips. I just wanted to do a quick video showing you some of the things that I wish I knew when I dove into playing this game. Beginner tips that'll help you along the journey of learning Valheim when you are kind of a beginner and venturing out to play the game for the first few times. So that's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.